We was in France and these fools pulled AKs out on us, and my homeboy Shaq was like, "Shoot me, bitch." And then they didn't shoot him, and Vern hit the window, put his hand through the window, grabbed the dude out the car, snatched his ass up. I thought it was over for all of us at the time. The way we came up with the first Cypress album, the process and how we did it all was basically, I finished the 783 project, and I was like, dang, I wish it would have came out like this. So I think it was about $1,200, and I got my SP12, and I started learning it. And as I was learning it, I was making beats, and B would come over and rap on the little 4-track cassette 4-track we had. So we basically practiced for about a year before anything even sounded like a record. Then one day we did the song Real Estate. I took the SP12, I plugged it directly into the boombox. He took the mic, plugged it directly into the boombox, and it was one take, push record on the cassette player, and he spit it, and I was like, oh, that was the first time we did a song that sounded like a record. From the point of starting, getting that drum machine to the time the record came out was 3 years. Some of them songs, like Real Estate, had 3 years to marinate. So after 6 months would go, I would go back in, add a couple breaks. I would go back in and, it's time to go mix the record. So while we was mixing it and recording other songs, I'd add more stuff to it. So some of them songs marinated for 3 years. It changed the face of hip hop at the time. You know what I mean? If you can go look at people's album covers and their records, and then till we came out, and then you look at their album covers the next year, and they went from having some bright, colorful Mickey Mouse stuff on to hoodies and dark. You know, everybody's sound got really dark, and a lot of people were saying they don't smoke weed or sets because it gives a brother brain damage. You know, 2 years later, everybody was smoking the chronic. None of us made this up. If anybody said they made anything up, they're full of shit, because it all comes from somewhere. It goes through our filter and it comes out. And hopefully, when it goes through your filter, you can make it yours and put your own personality on it, you know what I mean? So we was just blessed to be able to do something like that, man. When we came out, we went on tour. So we was on tour for 2 years. It was all brand new. We're just like, psh. Then they like, we came home and it's like, we need the album by now. And we was like, and I thought, okay, I have to have the album out by now. I didn't know better. It was, you know, at the time. So, and the manager's like, we need the album now. We have to have it by the 4th quarter. So me and B-Real went in, and I used to sit home and make beats all the time. Now I'm on tour for 2 years. I didn't make beats. So we went in and I made 10 beats in those 6 weeks, and we did the 10 songs in the 6 weeks. And I was a little upset, man, making that record in 6 weeks. After doing it, I'm like, man, this record could have been so much better. When I made Black Sunday, dude, I was listening to Black Sabbath and Ministry. I was really into industrial rock and Al Jorgensen, and he really inspired it. If you really go look at the album cover, go look at Ministry's album cover, and you know, that was a big inspiration on me. Just that dark, stripped down, minimalistic vibe that it had. When it came to do Temples of Boom, we was really just anti the big success. So then I was like, I want to make the darkest record I can make and take as long as time as I want. Nobody's rushing me ever again. And then at that time I was spending a lot of time in England, and I got really into Bjork and really into Massive Attack and really into the whole Bristol music scene, you know what I mean? So I think a lot of that sound really influenced Temple of Boom. Growing up, I was a big Who fan. All totally into Keith Moon, Pete Townsend, everything the Who was about. So, you know, we would smash our turntables a lot. So on that video, we smashed our turntables. And on shows, we would smash our turntables, I'd say. A lot of shows. We did it on Saturday Night Live. We did it in a lot of places. Until it was like, okay, we ran out of turntables. They don't have turntables in the cities, and they're 300 each. And I was like, all right, let's pause on smashing turntables after like the 50th turntable. We got to Saturday Night Live for the rehearsals early in the daytime. When I got there, you know, we had rolled a joint, and they was like, don't light a joint tonight. I was like, cool, it was in my ear. So we came back later, and I just had it in my ear, and they came in, don't light that joint, no problem. After about the 8th person came in, I was like, man, these people, I'm lighting this joint. I'm waiting till the 2nd song. So as soon as the 2nd song started, I knew it was live. I'm like, New York City, can I light my joint? And I guess the phones lit up, and that was it. We were banned for life. Everybody was mad at me. I was the bad guy, you know, and but they replay that all the time for some reason. I did the beat, and it was a beat I hated, and it was gonna be an interlude for the Funk Dubious album, but it was on my beat tape. I gave it to Cube, and Cube's like, I like this one. I'm like, you're out of your mind, man. And he picked that beat, and he spit on it. And then he's like, yo, I wanna get Das Effects on it. I'm like, dope. We was in New York, got Das Effects on it, and C'est La Vie, you know, I was like, damn. I did the beat, gave it to B-Real. He was just finished the Cypress album. I don't think he wanted to write anymore. And then I sat back and I used to go to a lot of parties, a lot of dance hall parties. And the big thing in the parties back then was they would come, jump, jump, jump. So I was like, oh, that gotta be a hook for a song. So I went back, put it in as the hook, and his son came over. And I go, I got a song called Jump Around. You wanna rap on it? So son rapped on it. Sounded like I think Daddy Freddie might have rapped on that beat too. I don't like that either. So Everlast came through and we did one song, it was okay. Then he came back another time. I go, yo, I got a song called Jump Around. You wanna write some to it? So he wrote some I go, that part's dope. Why don't you write the whole song with that cadence in mind? So he did. And then the demo was done. We had the 3 songs. We're gonna start shopping it. Tommy Boy hit us up. And what worked about Tommy Boy was Monica Lynch was Irish and pretty much ran for Tom up there. And she was like, yo, this reminds me of my brothers. My brothers go to church, then they go to the bar and they get drunk and get in fights. So when it came to putting that record out, she knew how to market it and do the shit at the Irish Parade. And she knew what to do with the record, you know. So that was really important for her to be part of that culture and understand it and be able to use it and personify it.
I can't make it down, so get down your seat and jump around. Jump around. Jump around.
I like the record. Never thought the record would be that big. If anybody says they know a record's ever gonna get that big and do what it's doing, they're lying. It was a saying in LA, like all the gangs would say, crazy insane, got no brain, so-and-so gang, you know what I mean? So I was like, we gotta use that in a song. It was just some street LA shit, so I told B the idea and he was like, yeah, that's dope. And B went and wrote that shit. Boom, wrote Sen's verse too, and they kicked it. And it wasn't none of our favorite songs on the record, but it was the single. And they didn't like it. They was like, nah, we don't want that to be the single. We was like, just trust me, this is the single.